Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv, and there has been a lot that has gone on over the past week. So let's start off with Binance. Binance had all kinds of things going on. So I'm looking at my notes. We have like 15 things that really stuck out to me this week, or 15 main topics that stuck out to me this week, this past week. So I wanted to go over those. First one, Binance Parts Ways with Binance Labs. That's their investing arm. Now, that's actually a big move, and it's a kind of, they needed to do it. Not that it was mandatory or anything like that, but they kind of needed to do it. They need to clean up their Regulatory Compliance Act, and that's one of the things that they're doing to actually do that, because they've got two executives, not one, but two executives that are currently locked up over in Nigeria over a $26 billion supposed money laundering scheme that happened, where they're saying that Binance enabled that to happen. You also have Binance kind of enhancing its listing requirements, which is good, right? That's a good thing. But I just saw, who was it? Bookmeme launched one day, the next day they're listed on Binance. So I don't know, right? I mean, list today. I mean, you'd launch today, get listed tomorrow. Are you really enhancing those listing requirements? I don't know, but Bookmeme went all the way up to $1.3 billion. So that was kind of huge. But I do question whether or not they've truly enhanced their listing requirements. Something else that they'll have to deal with. Guess what? Binance is going to have to deal with that class action lawsuit. So that's going to cause more strain on that company. And I'm wondering over the coming week if we don't see other coins. Well, actually, I want to take a sip of this. If other coins, give me a second, sorry. Apple juice. I'm wondering if other exchanges are going to be able to pick up on that, right? I mean, when Binance falters, they've got to, just common sense says that other people are going to start moving over to other exchanges, depending on what their needs are. So I think that's kind of a big deal. And it kind of should send us a shockwave through Binance executives. So that's going on with Binance. Then you have New York Community Bank. They've been in trouble for a while. They got that $1 billion cash infusion from Steven Mnuchin's team. Supposedly, they're also, he's also looking into putting together a package to buy TikTok, whatever. But when I look at the whole new, NYCB problem, I sit back and I go, well, don't forget, they purchased Signature. The problem that they're having has nothing to do with, Signature, right? It has to do with all their holdings in commercial real estate. That ought to tell you a lot about the commercial real estate space. Huge. Right? Something else that's going to affect, home buyers. If you're just looking at real estate, I just want to add this in there. If you're talking about new home buyers, new investors, well, there was a new ruling that came out that, from the National Association of Realtors, selling agents are not going to have to pay buying agents. That's 2.5%. Buying agents are going to have to negotiate on their own. It used to just be folded into and they would just automatically get. That's not going to work like that anymore. So you're going to have to, so that's going to be a big problem. So there's a huge strain, and I bring this up for a reason. Just bear with me. There's a huge strain in the real estate market on starter homes. Why? You've got 19,000 starter homes in the Georgia area that are already bought up by private equity, venture capital, and private companies. Not to be resold, no, to be rented. So those prices are going to skyrocket, pushing people out of that starter home space. It's all happening right there in front of our faces. And that's 19,000 homes. There's another 11,000 homes owned by another 7 companies. So 10 companies control 30,000 starter homes around the greater Atlanta area. That ought to have you shook. On top of that, you have private firms running around buying up businesses that would help you fix and maintain your home. Plumbers, electricians, HVAC people, just all of that. Again, raising prices right? As well as making it difficult for people to maintain their homes. So you're going to be hard to acquire one, going to be hard to maintain one, which means that you're probably not going to do it because it's just too much. So you'll rent one, maybe. That's huge. That's huge. That's huger than huge. The reason why I bring this up, one of the reasons why I bring it up, is because if you look at the housing market as it is now, and title companies, the whole title insurance thing, that whole thing, that's going to go to blockchain for sure. For sure. Why? Because it's a set document. You're going to add to it. You're going to keep going. That's going to move over to blockchain. It's going to make it a lot easier, a lot faster to actually track all that information. A lot easier, a lot faster. That's why I'm bringing that up. So when I look at the banking industry, when I look at housing, commercial real estate, that is a space that's hurting. I still haven't figured out how I want to play it. There are a lot of opportunities in that space from my humble opinion. I think there's a lot. So that's what I'm looking at. Something that I'm also paying attention to is what Chairman Powell said about other banks. Now, what's going on with NYCB is not really a contagion, right? They've got their own problems. It's encapsulated to them. So not a contagion, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other banks that are suffering the same thing because of the same reason. Again, exposure to commercial real estate. So Powell said, hey, there could be more banks that wind up in trouble. That's going to be interesting because how does that affect, investment, right? So I'm not going to put my money in a bank because it might go belly up. So if I'm not going to put my money in a bank, where am I going to put it? I'm going to put it either with some ETFs, or I'm going to let my money manager manage that, right? To keep as little in a bank as possible. So at least the amount of money I have is going to be insured, right? To up to $250,000. And then I can take that, hello, Stitchy. And then I can take that. Come here. Uppy. Come on, up. Come. No, he just wants to play. Sorry, guys. So he's not gonna let you see his face right now. He just wants to play. And I have to record this video, so that's not gonna happen. Not right now. There's my big boy. There you go. You can see him now. So when I look at that, I know you want to play. But you're waiting until I'm working. So the idea is, looking at commercial real estate, looking at retail, normal, residential real estate, there are plays that are there. There really are plays that are there. But it also says that companies are looking for people to be interested in starter homes in certain areas. And does that mean that they're moving out of the city? Is that going to put a greater strain on commercial real estate, which is why they're investing over here? It's an easier investment, lower cost. I don't know. So I've got to do more research on that space. I hope you do too. And if you find something that you find interesting, hit me up. Let me know. It'd be nice to share some information. Again, growmybag.tv is a full-blown social media platform. It's really easy to use, really easy to sign up, and it's really easy for us to keep, have a bi-directional conversation. Right now, I'm having conversations with people on different platforms, and usually it's it's really hard to keep that because you're commenting on a specific video as opposed to a conversation, even via a feed that everybody can see. So it's difficult. So growmybag.tv is actually easier for that. Anyway, I know we have upgrades that we need to make, and we are making them. We have something that's coming out really, really soon. It's going to be great. But let's get back into it. So then you have Grayscale. Grayscale's outflows are not fun. They're not fun. I mean, I reported earlier this week that you had $277 million in outflows one day and $400 million in outflows the next day. Not cool. They want to introduce a Grayscale Mini Bitcoin Trust. What? I think they're having issues about how to handle the competition that's there. I know, Stitchy. I know. No, it's over there. Go get it. So when you look at that, I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe you should have been thinking about this when you filed the paperwork, and everybody else filed the paperwork too, right? I mean, so they're having a hard time reacting to competition because the competition is eating their lunch and leaving dishes. Yeah, so that's interesting to me. What else I find interesting is Coinbase following what MicroStrategy did. MicroStrategy offered notes, some debt notes to build up a $500 million, fund so they can go buy more Bitcoin. It wound up being 525 million. And so Coinbase did 1 billion. So I know he's cute, right? So you got to play with the little punk. So Stitchy. There you go. So the idea is companies are looking to get into Bitcoin in a major fashion, and we need to pay attention to how they're getting into and get involved in Bitcoin. When you see the price drop, like it dropped this week, we are all the way up at 73. I thought we were going to hit that 75, and we didn't. I was very upset, but it's okay. Why? Because it introduced another opportunity. It went all the way down to 66. I think it even touched 65 in a couple of places. So to me, it introduced another buying opportunity. Buy on the dip, right? But it also says that they want to keep everything down because they want to buy while it's down. They're trying to trick you into selling what you've got. Don't do that. But there was also somebody who was dumping Bitcoin like all over the place. So that was big. So when I pay attention to this, I'm kind of sitting there and saying to myself, what should I do? Perhaps I should just continue to DCA. Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Avalanche, Polygon, just Shiba Inu, even Doge. Supposedly, Elon's talking trash again, but hopefully he's going to accept Doge for Tesla. Don't know. That's why I don't muck around with Doge. It's too much of this. There are also some meme coins that I'd be paying attention to. So that's why I'm looking at all this. I'm kind of going, what happened last week is definitely going to affect my views on this week. What am I expecting this week? I'm expecting Bitcoin to rocket back up. Why? Because it already took a major hit. It already took a major correction, right? And why? What are the other reasons why that correction happened? 277 or total of $677 million in outflows from Grayscale in just 2 days. You had rocket hot CPI numbers, same for PPI numbers, right? Consumer price index and producer price index, which made everybody choke because now they're thinking we're not going to get that interest rate, decline in June the way we thought. So that made everybody panic. Not me, because I see opportunity right there. That's why I call that out. This is why I take a look. Not only do I do my research every day, but even though I don't shoot videos on Saturdays normally, I do release articles on Saturdays, for the most part, usually. But I'm always researching. But one of the things that I do is I do this Sunday roundup. And it's not about the video. It's about me taking a look back at what I thought the key points are, putting them all together and then saying, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? I'm expecting big moves from other centralized exchanges, even some DEXs, because Binance is faltering. See how that all comes together to paint a picture that you can now use looking forward? That's what I'm talking about. I'm looking at the explosion of NFTs. Why? Not because of artwork, but because of tokenization. Everybody, tokenization was a big thing, that everybody was yapping about, and now you're not hearing anything. You're hearing very little about tokenization. I think tokenization is coming, and I think it's going to hit really, really hard, really, really fast, because there are some really easy places where you can implement tokenization. Car titles, title searches for property, fractionalized ownership of anything. Those are things that could happen here and now. Here and now. That can have a disruptive effect in different areas. Imagine doing title insurance and it's all captured on a blockchain. How long are those title companies, title search companies going to remain in business? Don't need you anymore, right? Everything's on a blockchain. Once it goes on a blockchain, don't need you anymore. So there will be that happy march toward getting everything on the blockchain. Boom, done. Movement of car titles. Car maintenance. Alfa Romeo is already doing it. A couple of car manufacturers are already doing it. So you start to realize, holy smokes, there are a lot of ways to track everything that's going on with regard to almost anything that's out there that should be tokenized. Tokenization is going to be big. That's my forward looking, right? Then I started looking at something, there were a couple of points where Bitcoin had risen up so high that it bunny hopped silver to become number 2. Nowhere near gold. Nowhere near gold. But Bitcoin popped up to be number 2. Here's something that will catch your attention with regard to those precious metals. The sum of all the Bitcoin ETFs, I forget how many there are. There used to be 11. Now they're like, 9? The sum of those Bitcoin ETFs now have more assets under management than the combination of all of the gold ETFs. Let that wash over you for a minute. Let that wash over you for a minute. These are the things that I'm paying attention to as I start to look forward. That's what I'm talking about. So no, has Bitcoin passed gold? No, not even close, like 1/10 or something like that. Got a long way to go. But when you look at the potential, when you look at the adoption, when you look at everything else, that's when you start to realize, holy crap, that could be a reality. And not that far away. Not that far away at all. Then you've got companies like JP Morgan, right? Vanguard. No, we're not going to do, crypto. We're not going to do that. No, they're not going to do it. They're just investing in companies that are doing it, except for JP, right? JP is actually involved in crypto. But Vanguard is not. Vanguard's saying, we're not doing that with our funds. Why? Because they have their own exposure. So if you own Vanguard shares, they already have exposure to everything. They own more of BlackRock than BlackRock. They own some Coinbase, They own a lot of MicroStrategy. They own a lot of the companies that are out there that are involved in crypto. So yap in one direction while this hand is actually doing something in this direction. Again, pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to what they're doing and how they're doing it. If you look at everything that's going on right now, is Bitcoin becoming more retail focused or more wealthy investor and institutional focused? Like Eddie Murphy said, aha. Just saying. For all you old folks out there, you know the movie reference. Don't play with me. Then you have the SEC cracking down on a $300 million Ponzi scheme allegedly involving CryptoFX LLC. 19 individuals charged there. That was big. Then you have another part of the U.S. government saying that the current laws around copyright are applicable to NFTs. Done and dusted. No new laws necessary. Wow. I think you're going to see an explosion in NFTs. I think you're going to see an explosion in NFTs as you start to realize that I can just hold an NFT up to the membership counter and walk in. Keep it moving. Ta-da! Use an NFT as my membership and keep it moving. They're going to do that at South by Southwest. I'm sorry, not South by Southwest, Coachella. They're going to be doing that at Coachella. They had a big problem with FTX, but now they're doing it with OpenSea. It's going to work out fine. It's going to work out fine. This is why I keep looking at these things, because you're talking about the gentle introduction of crypto into normal life spaces. That is what's huge. That is what I'm paying attention to, right? Because that's going to affect how crypto continues to move up. And again, some of the upcoming highs are going to also introduce higher lows, meaning that we're probably not going to see certain numbers ever again. Just a few weeks ago, I was saying we'll probably never see $35,000 for Bitcoin again. Now I'm starting to beat the drum on we're probably not going to see $50,000 in Bitcoin again. Remember how when we went from 69 down to 15 and change, we're going to see whatever number, it'll be like 60 something and change, I think. I think that's how high that's how high Bitcoin can go. I'm also reminding you, right? Bitcoin is playing a lateral game, slightly above, slightly below its previous all-time high, 69,000. Solana has jumped up from below $100 to almost $200 in a matter of weeks. Pay attention to how much some of these other cryptos are bouncing up. Just saying, you might make more money with Solana, Avalanche, even Polygon, even Ethereum, than in terms of real coins that I see out there, even Doge, even Shiba Inu. You might make more money percentage increase wise more than Bitcoin. Again, I look at Bitcoin totally differently than any other coin out there. Here's why. Store of value is Bitcoin. To me, everything else is not really a store of value play. It's a transactional play. No matter what the transaction is, to me, that's a transactional play. I'm actually going to use that. I'm going to use those coins to do stuff. The only thing I'm going to use my Bitcoin for is maybe go get a loan to go buy more Bitcoin, to get another loan, to go buy more Bitcoin. See what I'm saying? It sounds insane. That's exactly what Michael Saylor did. That's exactly what Coinbase is doing. It's exactly what a lot of people are out there that are doing, that have the money to do it. So why not build up my store of value, Bitcoin, right? I keep telling you guys, I have a certain percentage. Whenever I have money, I have a certain percentage that will go to my different, revenue streams, my different, investments. Then when I come to crypto, I have a specific percentage that will always go to Bitcoin, no matter what. Bitcoin first, bam, first trade. Everything else comes from what's left after that. So no matter what I'm thinking, if I say, I'm going to put $1,000 into Solana, I'm not putting $1,000 into Solana. I'm putting a huge chunk into Solana, and I'm taking a nice chunk and I'm putting it into Bitcoin. If I do something with one of these others, I'm doing something with Bitcoin. Store of value, future potential, hold it. Hold it right there. That's what I'm doing. That's how I'm looking at everything else. Yeah, I'll play with it. I have other coins that I hold on to, and I have other wallets that I use for those even same coins to play with, to do stuff with. So Mona just took profit off of Maker. And I said, that's great. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Yes, I am happy for you, Mona, my little cookie. But did you take a piece of that profit and put it into something else so it can again make you more money? That's what I'm asking. These are why I keep looking at things. I'm looking at, it's been a while since the hardware wallet had, that whole space has changed a little bit. Well, there's a new player in town, and it's called Block. They have a new hardware wallet called it's called BitKey. And so I still have to review that. Haven't gotten one yet. I'll get to it at some point. We'll see. Bybit and MEXC are having problems in Hong Kong. It seems like Hong Kong is having problems with everybody else. No? That's what it feels like to me. Hong Kong is finding a way to say, no, you're messing up. Because these two exchanges are being told, no, you're messing up. You didn't get registered. What does it take to get registered? Others have been registered there. What's the problem? This is why I'm not messing around with Hong Kong. When I ever hear news out of Hong Kong, I take a quick look at who's having the issues. Are they having issues anyplace else? Is this a major problem? Right? Is this an MO of theirs, like Binance? I don't think this is an MO of MEXC and Bybit. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Excuse me. So I'm looking at all kinds of things like that. One of the biggest things that I saw, like I said, CoinShares buying Valkyrie funds. And I'm looking to see, well, are there other opportunities for consolidation right there? I don't know. Highly possible. If you have enough money, we'll see. But are you looking at buying the whole thing and not just their spot ETF is the question. So there was a big opportunity for CoinShares to make that purchase of Valkyrie funds. So that was actually a smart purchase. But I do start to think, well, are there other talks going on that could actually see a little bit more consolidation? Right? Because I could see that playing out. Why? Because you also have companies talking about, well, should we go for a Solana ETF, an Ethereum ETF, an XRP ETF, a Shiba Inu ETF? So I'm paying attention to any kind of whisper and the sources of those whispers when it comes to ETFs. So again, how I look back and how I combine all of that news to tell me a story is how I look forward at what possibly could be going on. Like, I really do expect Bitcoin to pop back up this week, because everything that's been pressuring it down has been because of sales. We should be thinking about $400 million worth of Bitcoin owned by El Salvador going into cold storage. That means they're not going to touch it. I said it before. I really think that what they're going to do is what MicroStrategy did. They're going to continue to buy as they can, and they're just going to leverage what they have to get money, to get cash, to do what they need to do. I think that's how that's going to work out, how that's going to play out. Then something that's really getting to me, MasterCard and Visa are still trying to wiggle into the cryptocurrency payments process. Cryptocurrency is not like a credit card. A credit card, company says, I want to accept credit cards. They have to deal with a credit card processing company that will process the payments, and then still another company that actually transfers the payments from them to you, to the store. Same thing happens on the other side, right? So that's how it works on the credit card side. On the crypto side, I just pay the store. No middleman, no necessity for a middleman. But the way they're introducing it is, well, you pay leveraging your crypto. We look at that crypto, put a value on it at that time, and then we forward the money that's necessary, up or down on the crypto value. We'll forward that money over to the store. Now, if you're in a moment where crypto is going up and you're holding on to all that crypto that you received and flipping fiat to whatever store is there, you stand to make a lot of money. However, if you're the store, you might get slick and get smart and say, you know what? I'm going to accept crypto directly. I'll accept the crypto. That's $25. I'm going to sell that to you for $25. The equivalent of crypto is going to be X, X Bitcoin, X whatever, whatever. Cool. I accept that. Price goes down. I take the risk. Price goes up. I enjoy the newfound value. Given everything that's going on with the halving event, if I do not require payment in minutes, if I can wait, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, I can accept Bitcoin. So any online company, especially if they get hosted with Rebel Reach, which is my company, host your website with us, you can accept PayPal, credit cards, and crypto. That means somebody made a purchase. You're going to get your money in minutes. You're going to ship out at the end of the day. By the time it goes for you to ship out whatever product, you've been paid the actual value of the product you're shipping. You actually got the money. So when I look at MasterCard and Visa trying to wiggle their way into that particular space, when people become educated, when they become educated on how it all works, they'll sit back and kind of go, and why do I have to do that? Why do I have to connect my credit card to my crypto wallet and then they pay this? When I can just pay the store? I'll do that. Because already, if you're using crypto, I don't have a card in front of me. If I'm using crypto, I can't overspend. And that's another spot where they're going to get you. They might allow you that credit right? And that's how they keep you in that space. Whereas using crypto is more of a cash-based system versus a credit-based system. Now, do you understand why they want to keep you there? There you go. So yeah, I'm looking at everything that happened this past week and using that to look forward. Now, remember what I was talking about tokenization? The Dubai Police Department shares bullet reports, right? Literally the report on a particular bullet, right? With other law enforcement agencies around the world, so they can track weaponry and all that stuff around the world. They're going to use Cardano to do that, to share that data, that and other data. Do you see how real world things can be affected by blockchain, can be perfected, can be, let's say, enhanced? In this case, kind of revolutionary, right? By leveraging blockchain. That's what's huge. So this week, I'm looking for more of that kind of seeping in, right? That's not a normal transaction. Like, we don't all walk around with bullet reports. I'm just saying. But I'm looking for more of that to happen as we move forward. Nobody paid attention when Alfa Romeo said, we're going to track your maintenance, your vehicle maintenance via NFTs, via crypto. Huh? Yeah. Makes sense, doesn't it? There'll always be a record of that car, no matter who owns the car. There'll always be a record of that car. Sort of like having the ability to walk around with your medical records in the palm of your hand, so that if you actually get hurt, God forbid, you'd be able to walk in someplace and say, here are my medical records, I'm injured, can you help me? In my book that should be going to print this week, I'm actually reviewing it for the last time today. The artwork has been done. The layout and design has been done of the book. Everything's there. I just have to read it to make sure everything's right. Then it goes to printing. But in that book, we've got user sovereignty. And user sovereignty is the idea that your data, you own it, you use it wherever. That data sovereignty for every user is going to be huge as you start looking at how companies are leveraging your data to do whatever they want. Now you would be able to be in control of your data. Go look up how much data about you LexisNexis has. Everybody's like, oh, Google has so much of our data and Amazon has so much of our data. Yes, they do. But imagine a company that would collect data from Google, from Amazon, from any place you use any of your credit cards, any place you do public business. Buy real estate, pay taxes, all of it. One company has access to all of that data. And now they're taking it a step beyond and saying, we can record the data that your car puts out and add that to the packet of data. And then we'll sell that to insurance companies that will now change the rates that they charge you based on how you actually drive. Your car is actually being used to collect that data and sharing that data. The question is, and I have to get with my brother because my younger brother, he's a mechanic. How do we get to turn that off? How do we get to turn that off? Because all of the new vehicles are able to do that. You ever see that Progressive commercial where they say, oh, stick this device in your car and we'll give you discounts on how you drive? They're collecting that data. They're using that data. They're selling that data. Do you understand what I'm saying? User sovereignty of data is going to be a bigger and bigger and bigger issue. AI is going to play a part in that. Everything. Web3 is going to play. Look at Web3 and look at interoperability. Again, I'm a principal member of the Metaverse Standards Forum, where we discuss this all the time. We think about how we can make this better for us, for the end user. Creating standards, helping to create or facilitate standards development in the Web3 space. You can start to see how that user sovereignty makes a difference. Anyway, This is AJ on crypto for growmybag.tv. I really hope you like what I do. If you do, drop me a note. I love hearing from you. Just hit me up on growmybag.tv. And if you have suggestions on what I can do to make it better for you, hit me up. I love learning about what you guys think and, how I might be able to improve. I also ask my kids, because originally that's what this is for. And I still ask them what their thoughts are. And so far it's been, hey, Dad, why don't you shave? It's stuff like that. But we do get into really big conversations about, so I have some money going here, Dad, I have some money going there. What do you think I should be doing with this and that and da-da-da-da-da? And we have longer conversations about that, but we get to have it. I get to introduce those conversations to them via video because it makes it easier for them to take things in without having to have a long-winded conversation with Dad. Right? Anyway, I hope you guys have a good one. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.